Thanks for getting that started, Brenna. Okay, so we're here to talk about the Digital Media Certificate Program, which launched officially last fall and really sort of came into its full self in January of 2024. I'm really excited about being part of launching this program. I should mention as well that I have a deep history with Mass Art. I'm an alum of the graduate programs, the MFA program in film video. And in addition to my teaching and working on the Digital Media Certificate Program, I teach in the film video, photography, and low residency MFA programs at Mass Art. So I feel very connected to the school and really excited about some of these new initiatives that are happening right now. Oops. So just as an overview of the program, just some things that we want to let you know. The classes are generally 7-week classes. We can talk a little bit later on about a slight exception to that, but Mass Art Professional and Continuing Education has now moved into almost solely a 7-week class model. And so that's how these classes meet. Generally in the evenings, one weekday evening, although we have been in conversation with current certificate students about the demand or desire for maybe weekend morning classes. It seems like that's something that could possibly happen primarily in the winter semester if we continue to see demand for that. But right now classes run once a week. And they are usually running around 6 to 9 p.m. or 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. around that time period, Eastern time. All of the requirements, as it says here, for the certificate program are online and available completely remotely. So this is absolutely a certificate program that you can finish, start and finish and complete totally remotely and online. Although we do also have some elective options available on campus. So we have seen a lot of students coming in who are local and from the Boston or Massachusetts area, New England at least, who have some desire to be on campus. And we do have some limited campus access and some classes that have some in-person components. None of those, of course, are the required courses that can all be completed from anywhere. You can opt in to this program and our other certificate programs through a really simple process when you register for your class. So you can select the first class that you're interested in taking, go ahead and register, and right at that same time, by selecting a single button on the registration page, choose to opt in to the certificate program. Very flexible class and program planning for individual students. I'll say that in the time that I've been working with the certificate since we launched, we've seen students with all kinds of goals, many of whom really want to be taking one class at a time and really want to stick with that one class meeting evening per week because they have busy work schedules, family schedules, etc. As well as some students who have come in really gung-ho with more time on their hands who want to be taking multiple classes at once. We really do believe in this program in the importance of one-on-one faculty feedback for students. So because, of course, the digital media program has technical components and you're learning about technology and building skills, it is also a program that's rooted in making. And so in every class that you take that falls under the certificate heading, whether it's a required course or an elective course, you are doing some kind of production of work, a reasonable course load, but some kind of production, and you are receiving faculty feedback on that work that you're making or those projects that you're engaged in. And you also receive, as sort of part of what happens when you opt in to the certificate, immediately that process of opting in triggers the advising process. And so you'll hear from me as program director reaching out and asking to meet one-on-one by Zoom or by phone, usually to talk about your goals and what kind of things you want to learn, what your background is like, that kind of thing. And that advising continues throughout your time in the program from start to finish. There are 8 classes required to complete the certificate, and that's true regardless of how you shape your personalized program. So we have a couple of foundational requirements that we'll talk about as we go on this evening. We have some other requirements that are dependent on which track or concentration you choose within the digital media certificate. Regardless of whether you end up being exempt from certain classes or which direction you choose to go in with the kind of work that you're trying to pursue, you'll do 8 classes, and that might mean more elective course options if you're coming in with some of those foundational skills already in hand. We have 2 concentrations in the certificate program, and so on one side is a lens-based media concentration. And so in terms of the kinds of students who are opting into this side of the program, we're certainly seeing people who are brand new to lens-based media, first-time photographers, people who have been working in digital photography or digital video as amateurs or serious amateurs for some time. People's professional and personal goals really have varied in terms of the students who've come in and those we're continuing to welcome. So that might be folks who are looking to become animators or filmmakers, etc. We do see this as a program that can help be a pathway to a degree. And so whether that's an undergraduate degree, maybe a shift of career or a first-time undergraduate degree, or a graduate program that students are looking to go into, this program is really kind of an intensive preparation for a degree in these areas if that's something that you're interested in. Visual storytelling, people even working in sort of more traditional modes of digital video or photography as documentarians, commercial photographers and videographers, people who have really already entered the field and are looking to hone skills and just more deeply develop their knowledge of the current landscape, as well as people who are beginning to use lens-based media, digital photography, digital video, even sound, for their current jobs, and they're looking to update a skill set or gain brand new skills as content creators in a range of fields or product marketers. And so a range of people already, and you know, including people who really are here for professional development in order to further their own careers, and people who are here for personal enrichment and are just looking to become more serious makers or give themselves time to be making in a more concentrated way. So on the other side of the certificate concentration is our experience design side. And so in terms of prospective students on this side of the certificate, we're seeing people who are already working in fine arts, painters, sculptors, etc., who are seeking digital skills, interactivity skills, etc. People who are looking to do UX, UI, app development, etc., either for the first time or to update that skill set and as a PD process for themselves. Definitely educators of all levels who are looking to update their digital toolkit. And again, on this side of the certificate program, we also see the possibility for portfolio development, whether that's to apply to new jobs or apply to a degree program, undergraduate, graduate, post-bac, etc. Visual storytellers, we see this as really being on both sides, and there's a lot of crossover and cross-pollination between the 2 sides of the certificate. Web developers and designers, so more front-end design or some back-end development for web broadcast. Folks thinking about exhibition design and really thinking about designing experiences on that end. And even object makers, people who are looking to create physical objects that have interactivity, interested in things like 3D printing or other modes of digital design for physical fabrication. And then again, on this side of the house as well, people who are sort of already in the field and just looking to gain some new skills, new perspective, new community even. So there is a lot of crossover, as I said. It's really in the elective classes as well as the foundational requirements that we're seeing some intersection between the lens-based media side of the certificate and the experience design side of the certificate. So lots of classes that are attracting students who are opting into either one of those sides. Those elective classes are really an opportunity to be meeting people who are on the other side of the certificate, or even professional and continuing education students who have not opted into the certificate and are taking classes like these electives as a la carte classes. And all of these classes, whether it's the electives from either lens-based side or the experience design side, the foundational requirements, the core requirements for each side of the certificate, they are open to you regardless of whether you opt into the certificate or not. Opting in is really about crafting a program and really setting some goals for what you want to do in the long term over the course of your 8 classes and beyond. So, in terms of how things work, we've definitely been getting questions from people lately about just how logistically does this happen. So, just procedurally, you register through the MassArt Professional and Continuing Education website. This is a screenshot of a current live class that's still open for the summer of 2024. Our fall catalog is going live sometime in the next couple of weeks, and so those classes will be up soon. You can register and you can opt in at the time of registering for your first class, but you do not have to opt in when registering for the first time. So you can decide to take a class or two, up to two, while you're figuring out whether or not the certificate is the right fit for you and the 8 classes are the right fit for you, or you can do that right away. If you've taken classes through PCE at MassArt that fall under the digital media umbrella, and you've taken those classes since we started the certificate program, 2 of those classes you've already had can count toward the completion of your certificate. And then in terms of why to opt in, because you can register and you can take all of those 8 classes or more, but what's happening if you do opt in and what are the benefits that you're getting as a student in the certificate? We discussed already the one-on-one advising and program planning and course planning. We offer some free software access to our enrolled students, and so those software suites like the Adobe suite are available in their entirety for free to students while enrolled in PCE classes. Students who are opting into the certificate are getting uninterrupted access so that they're not worried about losing access over the winter break or periods in between when classes are running. And then you become part of this larger MassArt community using your MassArt email address and receiving notifications from the college, not only about what's happening in the certificate, but about other programming that's happening on campus and online. And then all students who are in the certificate program end with a capstone portfolio class. So that's for lens-based folks as well as experience design concentrators. And this is where a student, either one-on-one with a faculty mentor or in a small group with other students who are completing their certificate at the same time, do over the course of 7 weeks project development, preparing a portfolio, whether that's for an application or whether that's for enrichment or just completing a project that you've had in mind for some time, and you're meeting in these small groups or individually with a mentor we pair you with to receive really intensive feedback about the project that you're working on and to help you sort of find your way through that process, a more concentrated 7-week project, which differs a little bit from those smaller projects that you're doing throughout those other 7-week classes. I won't read the slide to you about these 2 foundational requirements, but it is important to just kind of get a sense, if you're thinking about opting into the certificate, of whether or not you think you would need or want these 2 classes. These are really foundational, meaning they're foundation requirements whether you're a lens-based concentrator or an experience design concentrator. Digital fluency really is about sort of gaining agility using the digital space. And so this class, we've found so far, most of the students who've opted into the digital media certificate have been exempt from the class. They're using digital processes every day. They have a sense of file management and sort of organizing and troubleshooting and figuring out how to move around with confidence in this area. We do have a full class in digital fluency this summer that's coming to an end now. Not all of those students are digital media certificate students. The second class is less common to exempt out of, and that's digital making, where we just take the digital fluency content and go a lot deeper, learning how to apply these tools in a really agile way using professional workflows for all kinds of digital making, from design with vectors to web broadcast design to video and sound to 3D design for fabrication. So it's in digital making where we start to really look at what these programs that are available can do for you and your practice and your future work. So that class, it bears mentioning, is running currently in the summer only, although we're trying to remain flexible about when we're offering classes based on how many students are opting in at any given time and what the need is for particular classes. We are running digital making starting in mid-July on Monday, July 15th. And that's the first time that we've run this class as part of the certificate. And it's an opportunity to get in with a lot of students who have opted into the certificate in recent weeks and months. And those course descriptions are also available on the digital media page of the MassArt website. And so this final slide before we can move into questions, if you have them, is just kind of giving an overview of this course sequence. So these 2 summer foundational requirements in fluency and making on the digital side. And then we have these core classes for the lens-based media concentration as well as the experience design concentration. We have been finding some students who are interested in maybe pursuing on the lens-based side, still photography more seriously than say moving image or digital video. I think as program director that there's so much porousness between those 2 sides of lens-based media these days, and we're using sort of some of the same skills and even the same equipment to make still images and moving images. But again, it's a flexible program where students are crafting their course sequence in a way that makes sense for what time they have available, what skills they already come in with, and what they're hoping to do and make with the certificate program. And both sides, as you see here, end with that capstone class. So be different faculty depending on what kind of work you're planning to make in that final class. And again, that's individual faculty mentor or you with a small group of other students who are at the same point in their program. Brenna, can you think of anything that I didn't mention here that we should touch on before we move into Q&A?
I don't think so. I think that was great.
I'm gonna stop my screen share. We have a couple of links we can put into the chat for you.